Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This video to fulfill the final exam 2020 speaking for academic purpose regarding a research presentation. My name is Dini Safitri, come from 2C, English Education, Institut Pendidikam Indonesia. For the journal, title is Teaching New Vocabulary to Young Learners Using the Method, Total Physical Response, and Keyword Methods. First, about introduction. The first one is background. The number one, teaching a foreign language or AFL to very young children has been an increasingly dominant trend in most globalized societies. One of the contemporary realities that many school systems face in globalized societies around the world is that parents expect their children to take foreign language classes at an earlier age now than they did in past decades. Number two is in acquiring a language vocabulary as one of the knowledge areas, and language plays a great role for young learners. However, young EFL or English as foreign language learners have a large amount and types of exposure to English. Their experience of the language outside the classroom is very little. Number three is List 2005 states that young learners' vocabulary development is an important aspect of their language development. So, little is known about the efficiency of strategies used to explicitly teach new vocabulary words in a foreign language to young learners. The second is research objective. This research aims to assess and compare the efficiency of two mnemonics that have been traditionally used to explicitly teach new foreign language words, the keyword method and the total physical response. Despite the fact that there is abundant evidence supporting the use of both strategies in teaching foreign language vocabulary, there are no empirical studies that compare the effectiveness of the two methods when they are used to teach new vocabulary words in AFL to young learners. So, this study aims to conduct such a comparative analysis through an empirical investigation and assess and compare the efficiency of two methods. The second is method. In this research, method with participants is item selection, materials, and then procedure. The first one is participants. 34 early elementary school children aged 6 to 7, 11 boys, and 23 girls from 3 different Iranian schools were selected to participate in this study. These schools were randomly selected, and student population had a very limited exposure to English. The second is item selection. A total of 30 concrete English nouns were selected and grouped into 3 different. All words were matched by number of syllable, imagery value, and concreteness of value in order to control for potential confound created by the use of different words. The third is materials. 2 booklets, paper size 30 cm by 21 cm, were used in this experiment. The first booklet was used in the keyword method treatment and include 10 sets of parrot pictures, and then the second booklet was used in P treatment and include 10 pictures. No visual materials were used in TPR treatments. The fourth is procedure. The experiment was conducted in 4 stages. The first one is initial assessment, second, intervention, third, next day assessment, and fourth, 2 weeks later. The procedure. Initial assessment. The test administrator read a standardized set of instructions to each participating child in which she informed the participant that he or she would have she would hear 30 words in English. The assessment took place in a quiet room within each school, and there were no other people in the room. The test administrator read 2 words in English. If the child knew the Persian equivalent of any of the words, she or he was asked to say it loud. But if he or she didn't know it, he or she asked to indicate that by saying, "I don't know." But is none of the children recognize and translate correctly from English to Persian any of the 30 words to be learned. Then the pictures were shown in the different order than the previously read words. The images were displayed on booklets. All children were able to identify correctly and say the Persian word for the pictures showed by the test administrator. The second is intervention. Each group of students from the 3 selected schools had a one-time English lesson aimed to help them learn 30 English vocabulary nouns. The lesson consists of a 30 minutes group activity conducted in the regular classroom. The intervention teacher was an experienced and certified kindergarten and ESL teacher. The vocabulary words were introduced in one of the 3 treatments. The first is keyword method treatment, 10 words. The second is total physical response, 10 words, and the picture treatment and 10 words. The next is next day assessment. The performance was assessed by the same test administrator who had performed the intervention as well. And the last is 2 weeks later assessment. The assessment procedure was repeated 2 weeks after the intervention. Okay, This all for me. Any question? Oh, yeah. I have one question from Miss Sinta. The question is, in your opinion, do you think the two methods will help university students improve their vocabulary too? In my opinion, I think yes, maybe these two methods can help for students who have shortcomings in terms by memorizing vocabulary, because it is seen from how the method work is very well and effective. But at least a little extra for teaching vocabulary to university students, I think, is aside to visual audio or a visual video. Very it will be very helpful for them. And even though this method is used for young learners, but if it helps you, what's wrong with it? As long it helps you, I think you do to with that method. Maybe that's all for me. Thank you, Miss Sinta. And then the last is the conclusion. The conclusion of this research is that the keyword method is more effective than TPR in teaching new vocabulary words in foreign language to early elementary school children. That's all for me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.